Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to yet another car launch reaction video. So far this week, we've had our first looks at the new Mercedes, the Alpine and the Aston Martin. And tomorrow, Williams will be pulling the covers off its 2021 Challenger. But today, it's all about Haas. And this one has been billed as a livery launch rather than a car launch. This video is mostly about the paint job, but I will also have a quick waffle about the team's 2021 season. Here it is then, and yeah, I'm still trying to process it, to be honest, because despite the major new sponsor, I wasn't really expecting something completely different to last year. And just to say super quickly, it was officially confirmed this morning, somewhat unsurprisingly, that Uralkali will be the team's title sponsor for the 2021 season, hence the new look for the VF21. My first reaction was, I guess it's fair to say, one of surprise. It's a weird one though, because I don't hate it, I'm just not sure that I love it, so I guess it's one of those, yeah, I like it, it's alright kind of looks. I do, I'm not going to lie, find it curious to see an American team draped in what is, let's be honest, the Russian flag, but then again, that's sponsorship for you. When you've got a company paying so much money to be the main title sponsor, they're going to want to have a prominent position on the team's livery. And yeah, I know US colours are also red, white and blue, but that is pretty obviously a Russian flag. But yeah, I do like it, even if it does, ignoring the national colours for a second, look a little bit toothpastey. More so than the Alpine does, and right up there with last year's initial Williams livery on that front. I suppose then, in that case, it's fitting to say that it's a nice, clean look. Leave me alone, it's still early to record this. Anyway, one thing I will add is it is a little bit concerning to see so few sponsors on that car, and I'd assume the Mazepin investment through Uralkali will make up for that. Obviously, we've got the new one-on-one sponsor on there, and there are a couple of others, as you can see, towards the bottom of the car, but really worrying to see so few on there. Another thing I do think it's worth addressing really quickly is that despite there being a ban on the Russian flag being used in sporting competitions, the livery, according to Haas at least, and as reported by Will Buxton, has been approved by the FIA. So essentially, whilst the flag is banned, the colours are not. Just wanted to clear that up in case it comes up in the comment section. It has been cleared by the FIA. In terms of the technical details, there's absolutely no point going over any of this because, as you can see by the floor in the top-down shot, it is last year's car with this year's livery. But the team will reveal the 2021 car in full just before testing on Friday, March the 12th. That's next week. As for their season, I'll be honest, it's really hard to get too excited about Haas this season. They finished last year with arguably the slowest car on the grid and struggled pretty much all season, and this year's car is going to be an evolution of that same car, so instantly it doesn't look brilliant. Sorry, Haas fans. Add to that the fact Gunther Steiner has already confirmed that the team will not be doing any development work on the car after testing, essentially accepting this year as a bit of a write-off, so you can see why it's hard to have too much optimism. I fear they could be looking at a season similar to the one Williams suffered back in 2019. That was an absolute shocker. And of course, in Mick, Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin, they've got two rookie drivers who will be spending this year trying to find their feet in the sport. It's not looking good, and for Haas's sake, I really hope that putting the emphasis on these new regulations, gambling on 2022, that car sees them at least leap up the grid a little bit. There is one thing that could help them out this year, and that's the Ferrari power unit. Don't get me wrong, last season's car was poor, there's no denying that, but its problems were compounded by the fact that the 2020 Ferrari unit was so down on power. So if Ferrari has got its problems sorted, as they're saying they think they have, that might help keep Haas somewhat competitive when it comes to fighting with Williams and maybe even Alfa Romeo at times. It's not something that is going to save their season, but it could prevent it from being a complete and total disaster. I think they will score points. In fact, as I said in my predictions, I reckon Schumacher will score, but I'm not expecting multiple points. Or at least multiple points finishes, you know what I mean? Not a huge number, not a huge tally. Then again, there is always the potential for a chaotic race in Formula One, so you never know. And actually, maybe Mazepin and Schumacher do need to take some, let's say, inspiration from Williams' 2019. Might sound crazy, but stick with me on this one. If they can focus on keeping it clean and getting the car to the end of the races, just as Russell and Kubica did for each of the first 14 races in 2019, and if that crazy race does come, they could capitalise, and that might just see them score very decent and important points. All of that said, something that is definitely worth noting, should Haas finish last in the Constructors' Championship this year, they will get the most wind tunnel time or CFD time of all the teams. And that could prove very handy in the early months of 2022 when the development race will be crucial. Just something worth bearing in mind there. To round it all off though, there's not really too much more to say. I like it, I really do. I'm just not as in love with it as I was with the Alpine or the Aston Martin, but it's a nice clean livery, and it's a change from the usual grey, black and red that we've seen so many times since the team debuted. I've never been a fan of that livery. I just hope that the lack of sponsors doesn't hurt the team too much in the short term, and for their sake that they can get that 2022 car right. That is it for this launch, or I guess livery reaction video, but you can, as always, let me know your thoughts on Haas's season down in the comment section. Now, I will be back tomorrow with a look at the 2021 Williams, but in the meantime, if you did enjoy this video, then please do leave a like as it really helps out the channel. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean, this has been the F1 Word, and until next time, goodbye.